What's up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Practal, Elevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys had an excellent winning Wednesday. Celebrate your wins today. If you're watching this, give yourself, think about the positives, write out some gratitudes, focus on the good shit going on midday through the week. But as you guys are starting to tune in, go ahead, drop an emoji. Let me know that you're watching this. If you're a client of mine, hashtag I'm here. Let me know that you saw this. And if you're watching this at a later time, hashtag replay. But yeah, guys, so today, just going to talk about really quick, really briefly, 5 reasons why you might not be losing weight or why you can't lose weight. And all of these are interconnected in one way or another, leading up to the final point that I will talk about at the end here. But yeah, so hope everybody's having a good Wednesday so far. But let's just jump into it. I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to make this brief. If you're watching this at a later time, and if you get value from this, give this a like. But also, if you are somebody who is guilty of one of these 5 reasons why you can't lose weight, do something about it. Correct it. Make a change to your schedule, to your day to day, to make sure that this stops happening to you. So, yeah, here we go. Basically, number one, less is not always more, right? Overly restricting your calories. Overly restricting your calories. There is a point in which you will lose weight eventually, but for a lot of people, that's not sustainable, right? Like getting to a point of starvation, not great. Getting to a point where you're nutrient deficient and malnourished, not great. But eventually, you will lose weight, right? If you don't eat anything, you'll lose weight. Like you have to. Like your body cannot sustain itself off of literally nothing. That's not how energy balance works, or the law of thermodynamics. At the end of the day, but you might be overly restricting, which could be making it really freaking hard for you to lose weight. Because something that happens that not very many people are aware of is something called metabolic adaptation, which basically just means that as you continue to your body tries to find equilibrium. Your body doesn't want to lose weight. It wants to survive. It wants to conserve energy as much as possible to an extent. And so, if you overly restrict your calories and you burn yourself off, like burn yourself out with like shit tons of cardio on a daily basis, like just really like just doing a ton of cardio and not eating that much food, like I'm talking like sub 1500 calories depending on your height, depending on your current weight. But if you do that consistently for a very long period of time, your body and your metabolism will adjust to it. And the same thing goes. That's how like reverse diets. That's why that's what sustainable like weight loss is built upon. Is slowly dropping your calories incrementally over time as your body adapts to that new caloric intake. But if you drop it way too quickly, way too fast, and you're at a stupid low amount of calories, you don't have anywhere else to go, and your body's going to adapt to that, and it's going to make losing weight a lot harder. You might lose more weight quickly at the start, but long term, you're gonna screw yourself over because you're gonna run out of calories and you're gonna reach a plateauing point, and then you're gonna have to reverse diet if you even know how to do that. So yeah, so don't do that. So don't overly restrict. It causes metabolic adaptation. Some people it doesn't. I'm gonna preface like everybody is different, but for like the vast majority of people, for your average person, it does happen. Some people they just don't have as much metabolic adaptation as others, and they can keep going, and they don't hit as many plateaus. But for most people, they do, and so don't do that. Don't overly restrict your calories like crazy. Don't go the burnout route. I've talked about that a lot. Don't do it to yourself. You're going to set yourself up for failure long term, even though it might feel good and you might move that scale number quicker for a little bit for a short period of time. You're giving up long term gains for short term satisfaction. So don't do it. Okay. Also, number two, eating too much food. You're not in a caloric deficit. If you overeat and you're above maintenance calories, you're gonna gain weight. Like you do. Like imagine like where you're at right now, you can eat, and I've talked about this in the past. Where you're at right now, you can eat a certain number of calories on a daily basis based on your height, weight, age, genetics, level of activity. And if you go over that, you're in a caloric surplus. You're gonna gain weight. If you go below that, you're in a caloric deficit. You're gonna lose weight. if you hit that right there somehow, magic number right there at that maintenance calorie mark, you won't gain or lose. You'll maintain, right? That's how it works. But when it comes to trying to lose weight, if it's not happening, you're eating more food than your body needs right now. And so that could be because like it doesn't matter if it's healthy food, it doesn't matter if you're drinking olive oil or eating like the peanut oil they fry french fries at McDonald's. It doesn't matter if you're drinking that or living off that or living off of avocados and salads and things like that. Like if you're eating too much of either of those things, you're going to gain weight because your body doesn't discriminate against calories. It doesn't. Like it's all comes down to energy balance. That doesn't mean that you should just eat eat that McDonald's fry oil, but because that's you're not going to get that many micronutrients, but that's just how you need to look at it though. Like you can eat too much healthy food and still gain weight. You can get fat off of avocados and salad. Like it'd be pretty hard to get fat off of eating salads and gain fat off of eating salads, but like it if you eat too much of anything and you go over your maintenance calories, you're going to gain weight. So eating too much food, kind of an obvious one, but throwing in that whole healthy concept of even healthy foods can make you overweight still applies. Like nuts, like you can eat an ass load of nuts and they're super calorie dense. They're very high in fat. So just got to be careful. Track your calories, track your foods. You won't run into that issue. Number three, you're not getting enough sleep or you're really, really stressed out. This is something that can happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not losing weight, but temporarily you might see a bump up or like an increased fluctuation of your weight because of excess water, potentially from being stressed out, raised cortisol levels, things like that. So, pay attention to those things. What might be going on? If you are, if you were a woman, your menstrual cycle is also one of those things that causes that fluctuation of hormones causing a fluctuation in water weight being held onto, maybe constipation, things like that. All those things tie in together as a reason as to why you might not be losing weight. So pay attention to that stuff. Like if that's happening, just acknowledge it and know that that's what's going on. But that could be another reason why the scale is not moving for you. Number 4, you're not tracking your food properly. You don't know how to do it right, or you're doing it on inaccurately. Maybe it's on accident. It could be on accident. Maybe you're going off of something that is not accurate, right? Anytime you're using MyFitnessPal or something like that, try to scan the barcode. If you can't scan the barcode, go with any. This is a little helpful tip. If you're trying to weigh out or measure your food, and you don't know which option to pick in MyFitnessPal or whatever other app, type USDA afterwards. The USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, they have gone through and basically figured out the calories and macros for most like raw and whole foods, right? So just type that in. It'll help. It'll make things a lot easier for you. But you might not be weighing your food properly. You might not be tracking it properly. You might be guesstimating. And that guesstimating can get you, especially the further you get in your weight loss journey, if that's your goal, it adds up over time and it might be messing you up. So track properly. Learn how to track your food properly. Yeah, so that was that one. Number 5, in general, if you're not losing weight, regardless of whether or not you have, any kind of hormone imbalances, like even if you have like insulin sensitivity from like diabetes or something like that, if you got PCOS, if you have thyroid issues, if you have Hashimoto's, if you have like all these other slew of like metabolic diseases that are out there, you're just not in a caloric deficit. Like it sucks. Like let me tell you. Like I work with a lot of people who have these issues and who have these these things that can slow down progress. But that is what it does, though, right? Like you can have these issues. It makes it harder. Like I'm not trying to say it doesn't make it harder because it definitely fucking does, and it sucks to have those things happen. It's like being that kid in school that had to like try twice as hard as somebody who just gets it. But guess what? It's going to pay off in the long run. You're going to get to your goals. It just might not happen as quickly. But because you had to work that much harder, if you're one of these individuals who struggles with those sorts of diseases potentially. Like it's going to pay off eventually because you're going to learn how to work twice as hard as somebody that it might have come easy to, and then you're going to benefit for it like for the long haul anyways, right? But even if you have those issues, for most people, it's not that it still comes down to calories. It still comes down to being in a caloric deficit. Yours just might be lower. It could be anywhere from like 300 to 500 calories less than somebody else who is at who would be like your identical height, weight, age, and all that stuff. Um, if they if they didn't have whatever potential metabolic issues that you might have, it sucks. But at the end of the day, knowledge is power, and knowing that this is what's going on puts you in control. And if you're somebody who does struggle with that, I would just focus on you know, getting to a point where you're at, where you kind of hit a plateau and you're at a point where your, calories aren't, where they're as low as they could probably go. Maybe try to reverse diet. Some people with metabolic issues reverse diet. Okay. Some people do. But one thing that you want to make sure that you do is to make sure that I would focus on body recomp. I would try to focus on body recomp and not necessarily focus solely on weight loss specifically, because eventually you're going to reach a point where you can't lower your calories anymore. So what do you want to do? You should just focus on building lean body mass as much as possible, and that's going to help you in the long haul with increasing your metabolism and things like that. So yeah, so don't, yes, it makes it harder, but even if you have some of these issues, it still comes down to being in a caloric deficit. That is how weight loss happens. That is how, fat loss happens. That's how body recomp happens. Focus on those things, and you will break past whatever plateau that you might have going on. But if you're somebody watching this right now, and one of those 5 things that I listed off, like, is what you're dealing with, focus on working towards those things this week. Focus on building up, working on those skills and habits that you might be slacking a little bit on, or you didn't realize that you're messing up on. And I guarantee you, it will help you in your weight loss journey. Other than that, though, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. That's all I got for you guys today. Happy freaking Wednesday. Have the best day of your lives. And if you're watching this at a later time, hashtag replay. Let me know that you saw this. And yeah, if you're a client of mine, hashtag I'm here. Let me know that you guys saw this one. Let me know your number 1 takeaways in the comments down below. Happy Wednesday, and I'll talk to you guys later.